Is my hair back? Like, I want it to be back.
Yeah, it's fucking back. You look like that guy.
What guy?
It's so offensive for me to say you look like another Asian man. Sorry.
Like Pharrell or something?
No, the one we've talked about from Miss Congeniality.
He's not Asian. He's just a really good-looking dude,
Tan guy.
bro. Like, he's also in Modern Family.
Yeah.
He also dies at the end of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
In the post credits.
Yeah.
And no, don't apologize because you're basically saying that I'm a good-looking dude.
I mean, you are a very good-looking guy.
Really? Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry.
You don't think so?
Much.
I think there's a lot of men who are not, who didn't grow up like the hot guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
they
me.
but me too. But then they grow up and they grow into themselves and they're like, oh wow, you're strikingly good looking.
I think it's also because of maybe the energy of confidence that we may have. Like deep down inside, we're insecure, but we're also very open with our sexuality.
Yeah.
And we're so comfortable with it, therefore we are beautiful. Kind of like Jack Harlow.
Yeah, it's like I have insecurities, but I'm not insecure about like the way I look. I don't even think about the way I look.
Oh,
like,
see, I do.
Oh, okay.
I think about my hair,
Yeah.
my eyes, and my teeth. But everything else, I'm like, ooh, I love my body for everything that it is. Like I can look naked in the mirror and go, high five, Jonathan.
And you do that a lot.
No, I don't. But when I,
No, your roommate told me.
Yes, she did.
That was your one condition when having someone move in with you. You're like, look,
do you have a long mirror?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Before we begin, I do have one question that's very important because we haven't seen each other for like 3 weeks. And this is the most important question of the podcast.
Okay.
There's 2 of them. Okay?
2 questions.
Okay. First question.
Yeah.
Sorry for peeking the mic. I
Yeah.
was like very passionate about this question. Okay. Is cereal soup?
No.
What? What are you talking about? It is soup. It is soup. You know why it's soup? Because there's liquid, there's sabao. Understand in my culture, it's called sabao. It's like the liquid form of things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put fucking soup base, aka milk, in a bowl, the stuff that goes inside of it is just additional soup ingredients.
I'll tell you why I disagree.
Okay, why do you disagree?
Because soup needs to be, there needs to be a broth. And there's no broth in cereal.
How's milk not broth?
Because it's just not. A broth is a thing you can actually go buy.
Okay, well, tell me exactly what broth is.
Broth is some sort of salty water.
Don't you?
In fat.
Okay, milk comes from cows. Cows, fat.
But milk is its own thing. Like milk is by definition not a broth.
Have you
It's
ever heard
milk.
of Christmas soup?
No.
Christmas soup, the soup base is just specifically milk. It's milk with a lot of vegetables on top of it, like bell peppers and some like pasta.
That's disgusting. Don't even talk about that.
We're not talking about
what are these
We're not
Christians
talking about
eating?
we're not even talking about if the soup is disgusting. We're talking about if cereal is soup.
I just don't think it is. Because I think soup has to have a salty, either made from vegetable stock or chicken.
What happens if I added some salt into the milk?
No, because
though some cereal granola had salty.
It's just it's milk. It's not a broth. It will never be a broth.
What happens if you heat it up a little bit?
Then you're a gross person.
See, we're
eating
not,
warm
but that's
cereal.
not the argument. The argument is not if it's disgusting. The question is.
But I don't think. But you're saying, oh, what happens if I make the cereal soup? Well, then it is soup. But you're saying, is cereal in its natural form soup? No.
Yes, it is in its natural form. It's okay. We'll agree to disagree, even though you're totally wrong.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy to agree to disagree.
And you're wrong.
And you're wrong.
No, you're wrong.
You're
No,
wrong.
you're wrong.
And I am 100% right, and that's fine.
No.
That we all agree that
I'm
right.
100% right.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm right.
Okay. And 1 to 10 my way, I'm right. So that's fine.
Okay, maybe we'll agree on this one. Maybe we'll agree on this one. This is so fucking important. I had an argument with someone for this for like 30 minutes, and hopefully you're on the same side. Because if not, then I swear to God, we can no longer be friends. Okay.
Well, we already know where I stand. So.
Okay. Well, no, this one, not the milk one. Okay.
Next one. Okay.
Have you ever played the game Uno?
Of course.
Okay. So you know how the deck is in the middle, correct?
Yep.
Okay. When it's your turn and you can't put something down, how many cards do you draw from the top?
Say that one more time.
Okay, so you know how like you're playing Uno and it's like a green 7, and you don't have any 7s and you don't have any greens. And you're like, crap, I can't put anything down. How many cards from the top do you draw?
Can you only pull one?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
God, I'm so passionate about it. Okay, we're friends. Thank God.
Who are you playing Uno
Oh my
with?
God, she was like, you have to go unlimited. You go unlimited until you have one.
I like you playing Uno with like a 5-year-old, and you're like, that's not how you play.
Oh my God, that's not how you play. It's one. It's the top. That's it, just one. And then you keep it. Because listen, if it's multiple, if it's unlimited until you find something, you can just skew up the rules and you can just take as many as you want.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you have the deck stacked.
No.
Stacked.
That would not make any sense. Also, there would be no more cards if you just pulled until you got a card you liked. What kind of game is that?
Thank you. What am I supposed to do? Trust you? They're like, oh no, I haven't got the green card yet. How do I know? Fucking bastards. Okay, sorry. If anybody thinks that's listening right now that if you cannot put something down while you're playing Uno and you think that you have to keep on drawing until you find a card that you like to put down and play.
That's not even a game.
No, you are an idiot.
You should be banned. The Uno.
You're a fucking idiot.
The Uno Federation.
I'm pissed off already. Just
Uno
thinking about it.
Federación.
Can't date anybody that thinks like that.
Is Uno a game of Latin culture or?
So actually, in 1882.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay.
In 1882. No, I'm kidding. Shit. Fuck, I was going to go for it. Damn it.
In 1882, a man by the name of Pizzeria Uno.
Pizzeria Uno. He was colonized by, of course,
Italy.
Yeah. And in doing so, to survive, he said to himself, I don't want my family
to be bored.
And so he played Uno.
Yeah.
He created the game Uno.
Yeah.
And then the Italian conquistadors, I don't know what the fuck they're called.
Conquistadors.
Yeah, see, I don't know math.
Conquistadors.
Yeah. I can, the word particularly?
Particularly. That's a hard word.
It's the hardest word that I think I've ever had to say.
Particularly is a very hard word. Word. When I was back east, I was noticing all my family's accents so much more for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was just coffee. Do I say coffee like that?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay.
I say coffee?
I think it's attractive. I think it's beautiful.
I say coffee. Is that... mimic me. Coffee. Okay, then you say it.
Coffee.
Wow, yeah, now I hear it.
Because you're down talking on the C-O. It's like you're saying
Coffee.
C-O-O.
Yeah.
And then I am doing an up talk, which is coffee. Like I'm going up and you're going down.
Well, it's weird because like I was listening to one of my cousins and he was going like coffee.
Right.
And I was like, that's fucking weird.
New York, right?
Yeah.
But see, I think that's beautiful. Like my ultimate goal in life is to fall in love with like a Brooklyn woman bartender that has a thick Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, like AOC.
No, her accent is not that strong. Like some people love British accents.
Yeah.
I want like a coarse, dirty Brooklyn.
You want to come on to John? What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. Like she's
get
like,
over here and fucking eat, John.
Exactly. She came back from work, pulling out the trash.
Yeah. Come over here and give me a fucking kiss, John.
That's so hot.
Give me a kiss, Johnny. I'm your wife.
Oh God, if she ever called me Johnny, though, I would like strangle her. I think too.
Oh, really? You don't like that?
No.
John.
Okay, hold on. Listen, people.
Yeah.
It was just a figure of speech. I would never beat up a woman.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
He would never do that. Trust me. I know this guy.
No. But yeah, that's like one of my things that I very much enjoy. I like get turned on. Like I get wet just thinking about a woman who speaks in a Brooklyn Jonathan. Like ooh.
Jonathan.
Oh.
I'm so in love with you.
You're turning me on.
John, come over here and give me a little...
Stop with this fan fiction.
Little
oh my
kissy.
God, this is... Ooh.
What do you want for dinner? Like, chicken parmesan?
This is like a JOI. It's ASMR. I'm excited.
A little chicken parmesan.
Okay, stop. I'm getting like, oh my God. I got to go in my closet for a little bit. Got to take off my pants now. Jesus Christ. But you know what's really cool?
Yeah.
I was walking in and you're walking in and I saw on the finger, which is really lovely, a fucking wedding ring.
I got married, guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, dude.
Something that I never want to do, but I'm glad that you did it.
You don't want to get married?
Well, I am in love right now, actually. Falling in love with somebody.
With a person?
With a person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe in 10 years.
Okay.
I don't know. But you got married. Congratulations.
Get yourself one of these.
I mean, before we get into like the actual wedding day.
Yeah.
there's a question that I've been asking every single couple, which I think is very beautiful. Every time I meet a couple or anybody that's in a relationship.
Yeah.
You ready for this? And anybody that's listening, you can steal this for a good conversation. You look at them, and I'm looking at you, and I go, your wife's name is Sydney, obviously. And I go, and I'm asking you this one question. What makes Sid so interesting? Right?
I think for me, it's like this ability to just like handle anything, like anything I throw at her, like, or like she could just talk about anything. Like she really, like I never am like I could throw my darkest thoughts at her. I can, you know, like something stupid. Like there's no, I'm allowed to be myself.
Oh,
I think that is what makes her so interesting. And I feel like she's that to me.
it's like you are completely safe with your thoughts with her.
Yeah. So I don't have to filter myself. I don't have to be different. We can go as deep as we want to go on whatever given day.
Wow, that's so beautiful, Noah.
Yeah.
See, that's so fun because then you can understand the values that each individual person has. It's so broad, but it's such a good question, especially when the couples are together and then you can just say it and they're looking at each other like, aha.
Yeah, like, sorry, I'm trying not to say like as much anymore.
No, it's okay.
No, I think it's a really good note for me. But I know that she's been to dark places in her own life, so there's nothing that she's gonna be, I can't handle this. You know what I mean? I can't do this.
She's resilient.
She's so resilient and she's just like a really great conversationalist.
That's the beauty of like a really good relationship, because when you think about because I'm looking at different relationships right now and I'm thinking about my past ones or girls that I've been infatuated with recently.
Yeah.
And there's a big divide between someone that you are excited about because you're objectifying them in a way, like, oh, I'm so excited because she's hot and I can't wait to like make out with her and do, sit on my face. And then you have
I don't know, sit on my face.
Right. And then you have in other cases,
John, you want to sit on my face?
No.
Call back.
She or the one that I'm infatuated with is someone like you were saying, where you're excited and you can't wait to open up your life with them.
Yeah.
So what happened on this wedding day? What made it so special? What happened? Tell us.
We eloped.
Okay.
So our family wasn't there. Nobody was there. It was just me and Sid and the clerk for the Santa Barbara courthouse.
Yeah.
And our photographer. It took me a lot of time to be okay with how we were going to get married, meaning not having a big wedding.
Right, it's just you, the photographer, and the clerk's office.
Yeah. Well, no, we were in the garden of the Santa Barbara courthouse.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It took me a lot of time. It was something I stressed about. I was very anxious about. I had a lot of guilt about not having my family there. I was worried that people were going to be upset with me, old friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I was also worried that it wasn't going to feel special. And
is it because not special in the aspect of, hey, we're not doing this traditional thing that everyone else
That's
does?
exactly what it is. I think what was happening is my brain was, when it came to the idea of a wedding,
right,
it had something in there, an image. This is what a wedding is.
Hey, the media wants you to do it this way. Culture wants you to do this way.
To do it like this.
But hey, my wife wants to do it completely different.
But my wife wants to and needs to do it like this. And what was really behind that is there were a lot of reasons, but I think for her, she really wanted that day to be about us. She wanted us to be able to connect.
Right.
And it's just funny because what my brain is telling me, like, there's so much like capitalism, like capitalistic. Seriously, I mean, I hate to be this like woke, bitch, but like capitalistic ideas of like why do we have weddings? Well, there's a whole wedding industry. People have jobs because of weddings.
It's a
people
billion,
have careers.
$1 trillion
because of
business.
weddings, flowers, music. Musicians. Like some musicians, their only way to make money is to play weddings. And so it's like it was that, and just this idea of what it was supposed to be. But the truth is that's all I knew. It wasn't. So when I would think of what an elopement would be, again, my brain's like, let's bring up images of elopement. And what do we see? Couples running away with each other, being disowned by their parents, disappointing their family, getting married, the Montagues and the Capulets,
Yes, I love this, bro.
I see that and I'm like, well, I don't like that. I don't want that for us.
Yeah.
But eventually,
you see the people in a crowd throwing rice.
Yeah, but eventually, I was like, I listened, and this is what she wanted, and why does there have to be these set rules or ways of doing this? Why does it have to be like that?
Right? Why does it?
Why can't we make our own rules? That's what that's where my brain starts to help me, and I'm like, this is what we're doing, and I need to get behind it because I want to be happy on this day. I want to.
You want the beginning of the marriage to start off on your terms.
Yeah, I want it to be beautiful. I want it to have everything. Also, why can't this be? So what? It's nothing I've ever seen. That could be great. We can make it this thing that nobody's ever seen or we've never been to.
Right.
Doesn't that sound a whole lot more special than,
being rigid and following the rules of everybody else?
Following the rules and what society tells us a wedding is supposed to be for hundreds and hundreds of years. That being said, I get behind it. I'd say, once we decided, I get behind it. Maybe a couple little flare-ups of like, oh, I'm nervous. This isn't what I don't know if this is how I want to do it, but I'm kind of not telling Sid that because I don't want there to be any discrepancy of like, I want to marry you. This wedding, that's another thing.
Oh, the difference between, hey, Sid, I do want to marry you, and then is it me having this guilt making her think that I don't want to?
Right. It's like
100%
in on marriage.
Right.
Was not fully ready to accept how we were doing it. Does not mean that I'm not 100% in. That was something I worked out in therapy. Because I said to my therapist like a month down, I was like, I still feel this like guilt that I should be having a wedding. And she understanding the whole scope of it, said, my therapist, you can go through with this, have a great time, and still not be 100% on it.
That's true.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be black and white.
Okay.
But once you're there, you're there.
But the only thing that is true, no matter if it's a big wedding or if you have that guilt, is, hey, guess what? I'm marrying you,
and I want to be, and
I want to be with you.
Yeah, I want to be with you, and let's ride that into the sunset.
Right. So that's the foundation. At least the foundation and the values that you have with Sid is impeccable.
Yeah.
So
we try. We're not perfect, but we try.
You're not supposed to. I can't wait to be in a relationship with this person that I'm in love with, so that way we can start arguing and having fights.
Yeah, so the day comes, and I had sent out we sent out an email to very close friends.
Ooh, a newsletter, okay,
and said, about 2 weeks before, and said, hey, a month before we sent an email saying, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks before we followed up that email and said, hey, we'd love to hear from you on that day. If you want to send us a note or a letter or an email or a video, we're going to read it and watch it the morning of our wedding.
Oh, that's
and
so sweet.
We can feel connected to you. And
what a great cheap wedding, though, too. I don't have to get you anything.
Yeah, it was really good.
Usually people give $100 for showing up, but hey, guess what?
I'm not going
to Venmo you anything. Yeah. God damn it.
You don't have to pay me anything, but you could. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, you can.
No, but
I just got married. You had to support me.
Yeah. No, we did. Yeah, it was a very cheap wedding, and we didn't need anything. But people are gonna want to give gifts.
Yeah,
so
it's not the idea of the money. It's the fact that here's the celebration that you had that was on your terms, And even though you had that guilt at the very end of it, how do you feel now?
So can I tell the whole story of the day?
Yeah, I want you to.
Okay, so we send out email, letters, videos, great. And the day before we drive up the coast, and I'm all in now. I'm like, this is my wedding. I love this woman. Let's just go have this is going to be a great vacation.
Yes.
A great time. We drive up the coast. We get to Santa Barbara. It's gorgeous. The weather's impeccable. Sid looks beautiful.
Oh.
We get dressed. We go to a great dinner. And because we're not spending all this money on a wedding, we can really go to some nice restaurants and get really good food and drink really good, alcohol.
Get some sushi, Nobu.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at you.
We didn't go to Nobu. We went to the Lark in Santa Barbara. I recommend it.
I don't know.
So we go to this restaurant, and that night we come back. We do our own little thing. And
Sex, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then the next day we wake up. We go to room service to our room.
Yeah.
So relaxing, so much fun. We're in our robes, having coffee, like eating in bed. It's just like so much. The wind from the mountains are blowing in. Our photographer comes, who was our witness and our only friend there. We get dressed. We take, I'm not kidding, 2,000 pictures around Santa Barbara. We go to the courthouse, around the hotel. We're just having a blast, taking pictures with each other, and we're looking great. Sid was so good, looked so good. I looked amazing, if I may say so myself.
I mean, you always do, but I can only imagine with your suit, tuxedo, whatever.
We took 2,000 photos.
Okay.
Seriously, she shot on film, on camera, and Polaroids.
Ooh.
We go into the courthouse. And the clerk does all the legal stuff, our marriage license. And he said, after we finish that, he says, okay, I'm going to go put my robe on. I'll meet you in the garden in 5 minutes.
Ooh.
And we'll begin the ceremony.
It's like a typewriter woman.
So we go, his name's Jim.
Jim.
He was like kind of a burly man.
And I type on
kind of like a guy who used to play quarterback in high school.
And he's going to marry you.
And he's marrying us.
Okay. So you're in the garden.
Not a rabbi. Which is okay. So we go to the garden, and he begins the service, and I start to cry, and Sid starts to cry.
Of course.
Our photographer, she's taking pictures. She's crying. Jim's like, "Noah, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm doing great, man. I'm so happy now.
I'm about to spend the rest of my life with the woman that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with."
Yeah, he marries us. When it gets time to do you, Noah? Do you, Sid? I say, absolutely, I do. Sid says, hell yeah.
Oh my God, I'm crying, bro. I'm crying.
And then he says, you may kiss the bride. We kiss, squeeze each other so tightly. I'm a Jew, so I brought glass. I stomp on glass, and the wind is coming in from the mountains, and it's just it was so special and so unique. It was so intimate, and like I really was connecting with Sid, and we just. It was so cool. There were no distractions. And at the end, I go to Jim. I say, hey, I'm like crying. I'm like, thank you so much for making this meaningful and taking it seriously. And he was taken aback. He was like, are you kidding? Of course, I don't ever really get to marry anyone. And I was like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
He was like, usually couples come into the courthouse. I do the marriage license. And then they leave and they go get married at a wedding. I never get to do the ceremony.
Oh, so special for him.
So
too.
he was like, he's crying, and he's like, this was really special for me. Like, I saw how much you guys love each other, and it really was beautiful.
Oh my God, bro.
And I was like, that's great. I just was not expecting the guy who married us to really. I just thought he would treat it as like, okay, next, just like not really care.
Yeah.
But he really cared. And then after that, Sid and I walked to the beach. We prepared personal vows for each other.
Yeah.
We say them to each other. It's awesome. And then we go back to the hotel. We go up to the pool, drink cocktails, and then we go to dinner in Montecito, have the most delicious pizza I've ever had. Just have a great time. Wow. We go out, get cocktails. Next day, we fly off to Mexico City. It was so sweet and so much fun. And
it was about you.
It was about us, And I'm an anxious person.
Yes, I could tell.
And I really think if I had a wedding, it would have been an anxious day for me.
Because you're thinking about the guests. You're thinking about what I'm going to get them. There's that pressure of also performative. Like, is this being performative for the guests that are there?
Yeah. That day, my wedding day, was one of the most relaxing days of my entire life.
And that's how it should be.
And I was like, I'm so thankful because I never have a relaxing day.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to relax. But that day was like so calming and just like so relaxing.
If you think about it, it wasn't really the day. It was an event of you two, you know, driving through PCH, getting to Santa Barbara, eating at Lark. And so it was this momentum of love.
It was really cool. And reading all those emails and letters fulfilled my need to want to be connected with friends and family and stuff. But what was so special about that is I got to hear from people that I probably would have gotten 2 words with.
Which is
on my wedding day.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congrats. I'm so happy for you.
Because
I'll see you in 3 months.
When someone writes something to you, it's more personable.
So personal.
Because you have to actually take the time and be diligent and then review it and go, okay, I'm going to be sending this to them.
We basically got to hear like 100 best man speeches, you know, that we got to read in our own time and
really reflect, let it marinate.
Yeah, really take it in. It was so cool to get that time with people because our wedding, we wouldn't have, not only would we not have that for each other,
right?
We wouldn't have it for other people. We would be, hi, thanks for coming. Hi, thanks for coming. You guys want to do the horror? You know, there's no.
So are you basically saying that this is why you shouldn't have a wedding?
No, I think it's everyone needs to do what they want to do. But I would say that there is a negative connotation, I think, when it comes to elopement. I had it myself, and I think we need to throw that out the window. There are no rules.
I mean, this is like one of the most beautiful things that I don't know, this is really touching. I mean, I'm thinking about what I want when it comes to marriage or when it comes to a wedding, when I want to elope with someone. Because I've been to weddings where I've been the groomsman and the best man.
Yeah.
And it is so stressful.
Yeah.
You know, we have to do a dance. Hey, Jonathan, my father's saying this. I'm having a breakdown. It's okay, bro. We got you. You're figuring out, oh my gosh, where are the doors? Everyone's really happy. Oh my, I have to change into another thing. Oh, hey, Jonathan, you can go
Dad's
outside.
an alcoholic.
Right.
You know, we got to watch out for him.
Take
whatever it
photos
is.
while everyone else is having fun. I mean,
it's so much. It's a lot. And you know, my brother and sister, they had 2 big, very fun weddings.
Right.
Live bands. We had a great time. Yeah, we had a great time.
Those are the best. Open bar.
You
have to.
Cocktail
Anybody
hour.
that does a dry wedding, by the way, they deserve to be in hell. It's worse than when a friend says, "Can you please pick me up at LAX?" It's the same type of thing. There's a special little place in hell just for you. Anyway, go on.
I think, and I also think I'm very grateful to both of our sets of parents for being so understanding and cool. Because that would have made the day a lot harder. I didn't want to have to, you know, I say elopement, but if you look up the definition of elopement, it is like it basically is when a couple goes off in secrecy to get married.
It's like Braveheart.
Yeah. We didn't do that. We didn't go off in secrecy. We told everybody what we were doing. They just weren't there. That's why. So we call it an elopement, but technically it's not.
Okay.
But I was so happy that my parents, I'm sure there was a side of them that was wanting to be there.
I wish I could see my son, my last son, get married.
Yeah, but they knew that, hey, this is what they want. And if I'm going to do my job as a parent, I need to let them have what they want.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's how I contribute to this day. You know, by let me just support them, not make this about me. That's the problem, is there's so much pressure about weddings in this country, in the world. I don't know how other countries do it, but I really do feel in America there's so much pressure. And really what that is everyone making that day that's supposed to be about this couple, about themselves. You know, when I go to a wedding, I'm I'm there to have whatever the couple wants from me
Is what you're gonna give.
is what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna give you a generous gift. You want me to dance? I'm gonna dance my face off.
Right.
You don't want me to dance? I'm not gonna dance.
Some people just have an agenda of, I should have done a speech, or I want to hook up with this person that's dancing.
Yeah.
But hey, let's make it about the couple.
I think there's one when you're going to a wedding.
Yeah.
I think you really need to reflect on the people whose wedding it is. What do you think they want, and try to follow that. You know.
And look at you. You're so happy.
So I'm married. Yeah.
I love it. No, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
one
of course.
One of my favorite things is every time you talk about your wife now.
Yeah.
You say Sid, you always smile.
Yeah.
Or if someone's saying Sid, you're like, ooh.
I'm always like, do I talk about her too much?
No.
Listeners, comment if I talk about my wife too fucking much.
I mean, you just talked 30 minutes about this wedding, so I can only fucking imagine. But bro, I think we needed to hear that for a second, because it's this idea that sometimes, men in general they look like, AKA, as my brother would say, or sometimes like a simp when they're opening up about their feelings for their significant other, especially if it's not in an objectifying sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Right? To go deep into that. When she loves, I love. When I hurt, she hurts. When you're talking about how I can feel completely safe with her, it's rarely said, I think.
Yeah, I think, in my comedy, I just try to be as vulnerable as I possibly can. And I would really like to see men do that more.
Right.
I'm so sick of our parents' generations of men, most men who are just, they hold grudges for years. You ever see like a 60-year-old man who's mad at the world?
Yeah.
You bump into him on the road and you're just like, get out of here. It's like, what happened to you in your life? Just, if you would have fucking said something to your brother 50 years ago, you wouldn't have yelled at me on the street.
I mean, the whole idea of it, yes, men can definitely open up to their significant other, but I mean, what's so beautiful about you is, hey, I'm not going to hide it to the world.
I'm not got nothing to hide.
I'm going to be vulnerable in my own sexuality. I'm going to be vulnerable in how I think about the woman that I love. And hey, I'm not a simp. This is just love.
I'm not going to be fucking embarrassed for the way I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I found someone, I feel like, because I was like, fuck this. I'm going to be wear my heart on my sleeve.
I like it.
And if you don't fucking like it, then I'll date someone else.
Right. I love it. No, that's exactly how I feel right now.
What's up? What's up with you?
The same type of situation right now. Yeah, I know. We'll talk about all of that stuff. We're just gonna be talking. I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks.
Sorry, I got a weird text.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, why are you apologizing? I just wanted to make sure that we're on track with you and whatever you want to talk about. But no, I hear you. I hear you because I met this girl. She was a friend of a friend, and I only saw her for 5 minutes, for 5 seconds, and I made a joke with my friend, like, oh, I'm going to hook up with your friend, as a joke, even though I don't know what she looks like.
Yeah.
So I was headed to San Francisco, and she's there right now, and so I decided to line up dates, because I believe that when you travel, you should at least, if you're single and you travel, go
on dates.
Try to hook up with girls in San Francisco.
It's
if you're
fun.
headed to New York or Florida, wherever you're going.
Have a little fling.
Throw it out there. Throw it out there. And so she was one of them.
Wear a condom and have fun.
Yes, always wear a condom.
And get consent.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Like, would you like to kiss me?
Always. Get consent for everything you do.
Can I massage you? Can I... here's an example. Here's a way to get a good consentful hug. Ready?
Yeah.
Instead of asking, would you like to hug me? Sometimes you just go like this. You open up your hands and you go, hey. And then if she's like, okay, and then she walks up to you and she gives you a hug.
Yeah.
It's this energy. You don't just grab on like, here. Anyway, so.
You don't do that.
I think I'm not going to go through the entire date, but I pick her up. We drive for 40 minutes to this location because I felt like it. And we talked for 40 minutes. So the car drive was like really fast. We get to the restaurant, we eat. And they have to kick us out because we've been talking for 2 hours. And that's when you know. That's when you know it's going well, because you don't have to think what you're going to say, and you're actively listening with her and she's actively listening with you. But my favorite move of the night, I don't know where it came from, but she asked me, hey, did I exceed your expectations? I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you did. Oh my God, hell yeah. And we parked the car, and I go, hey, can you bear with me for a second? Because I really want to try something. She's like, okay. So I get out of the car. I open her door. She gets out, and I look at her, and I go, okay. And I go in, I go, hey. Oh, no, let me start over. Because you got to do the cute thing, like starting over or whatever. And I go, hey, so most guys, they'll give you a balloon. Some guys will give you a flower. But instead, I'm going to do this. And I took out a candle, and I lit it.
Whoa.
And I told her to blow, and she blew. And I go, did you make a wish? And she's like, yeah, I did. And she's like, that's the cutest thing. And then
That's a good move.
Yeah, I don't even know where it came from, but that's a beautiful move.
Well, but you obviously planned it because you did have a candle in your pocket.
Well, no, not I was on the side of the door, but I was before the date, before I picked her up on the date, I said to myself, wait, how can I make what should I get her? And then I was like at Walgreens, because I had to get some gum, and I'm like, you know what? It'd be so much fun if I got some candles, and a lighter, and made her blow on a candle.
That's great.
It's so much fun.
It would be funny though. It wouldn't be funny if you died, but if you had died that night and all they found in your car was a lighter and some candles, and that girl found out and she was like, what the fuck?
My wish came true.
Yeah. What the fuck was he going to do that night with me? It's not even my birthday.
But it's a really cute move.
That's so sweet.
So and then we
did you make love?
We like each other a lot. That's
Okay,
all.
good.
That's what I'll say.
I'm
I'm very fortunate that she is currently in my life.
cool.
Yeah, we text a lot. I feel, again, I like you. She did something beautiful, which is I feel safe, not really second guessing myself when we communicate.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing just to pour it out there in long paragraphs of text, and she's willing to do the same thing, knowing that we're not here to judge each other, but more just to enjoy each other.
And if she doesn't like that, then she's not right for you.
Exactly.
I think there's an element of that logic that obviously you can't be like, well, I'm an asshole, so I'm going to be an asshole. And if she doesn't like that I'm an asshole, then I'll find someone else who does like that I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're an asshole and you need to work on that. But if you're being nice, but you're just like a passionate person, or you're silly, or you're goofy, or you're a little weird, or you're a little nerdy, fucking do that, because that's who you want to attract, someone who likes that about you.
Yeah, but you also have to be socially and emotionally aware and intelligent enough that when you're bringing yourself, hey, are you also opening yourself up for that person to be who they are?
Right.
Because a lot of people, I believe, they're, be yourself, but then they become the main character of a story to themselves, where they're not being able to open others up so they can participate in their main story.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It was so intriguing and great that my headset fell off.
Right.
It really was so good.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That was great.
Yeah, and I got your back.
Yeah,
With the
thank you,
microphone.
buddy.
See, because he's opening up, therefore I'm aware, and boom, I take your microphone and make you
Teamwork.
listen. Teamwork.
That's right, baby. That's awesome. Good.
Yeah.
When are you going to see her again?
Maybe next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dedicated to work first, and that's what I like about her too. Is her career and family comes first, and that's what I believe. So when we talk, it's maybe, every other day or whatever. Cool. But it's very
keep it organic.
It's organic, and it's very
Whole Foods,
wholesome.
Yeah. Whole Foods.
Time is well spent.
Good.
It's none of this lovely-dovey. It's also, hey, I have a question about my career. Ooh, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
See, it's not like, oh, I miss you, I love you, or
practical.
No. Yeah, I want a partner where we go to an event, and then when we leave, we strategize what to do next.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. But I think it is, Sid and I we'll work together and write together sometimes, but when one of us is very busy on other projects, and then we use the time we have together to work on something, that's a recipe for disaster.
Ooh, what do you mean?
I think you can only work on a project with your significant other closely if, one, you're getting paid.
Okay.
Then it's like, we'll do it. Doesn't matter if this is all the time we have together right now.
Right.
Let's do it. We're going to make money. It's going to be good for us, good for our future.
Right.
Or two, you have enough time to connect, to date each other, and to create. If you only have time, enough time to just hang out and just be a couple and be together,
right.
I don't think it's a good move to take up that time with creative stuff.
Right. So I mean, what I'm saying is, yeah, you're right.
No, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. it's just advice I'm saying learned.
Yeah, we're not working together. It's more, she's bringing me where she works. I'm bringing her
cool.
where I work.
Oh, very cool.
And then that's the collaboration that I love. It's like we're watching each other grow
and giving each other space to do it.
Right. I mean, one of the most, like, hopefully the dream that I have is one day I get my award. Like I said, I got this invite to this like Facebook audio rap party, which was really nice. And so I asked one of my friends who's a creator to be my +1. That's fantastic. Congratulations. But at the end of the day, we lack that intimacy where we can't really joke around as a couple and make out with each other. But imagine if you bring your significant other, then she is there witnessing your growth and vice versa. It's when you win an Academy Award, wouldn't you love not your mother staring at you, which is nice, but the woman that you love so much.
Totally.
And has seen the growth.
And she's happy for you. And
right.
And when she has an award, you can be happy.
You're like,
for
hey,
her.
that's my bitch.
Yeah.
Right? That motherfucker, she did it. I love her so much.
That's my bitch.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
what the hell?
What?
You own her? No.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I always think about that. Nothing feels like good news until I get to share it with my partner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've had so much success in my life, and I feel so empty because even though I'm surrounded by a bunch of friends and siblings and people that love me, and I get it, I still
Someone
feel so
who's on
very
the ride
alone.
with you, when you share them good news, they're like, what? That's awesome.
Right.
This is so cool.
It's the best because it makes me think. I always thought, I have to be super successful and then I'll get someone. But then if I mean, granted, that's always nice, but hey, wouldn't it be fascinating if I met someone and we somehow had this journey together on success?
Totally.
How hot is that?
It's awesome. I mean, it's really cool to see someone become who they were always supposed to be. And I don't think you ever officially become that, but like to see someone strive for that and reach the next level of John, level 10, John,
right.
level 12, John.
Jonathan, yes.
Jonathan, sorry.
That's okay.
You prefer Jonathan.
Yeah.
Sorry. We've known each other for 20 years.
That's okay.
Just still don't know. Yeah. TikTok will love that sort of stuff. The coming bits.
Oh, I love coming. Actually, I don't sometimes. But how's what's going on else in your life right now?
What's going on? I'm very tired. My grandma died.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My condolences. You told me yesterday or 2 days ago, and I'm a Catholic, so I said a little prayer.
Thank you.
What I would say during a meal, bless us the Lord. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you.
I actually did a solid
That's
little
very
prayer.
nice. I appreciate that. I'm doing okay. She died on my birthday. My 30th birthday.
Do you think there's like a significance with that of any sort?
I don't know. October is a weird time for my family.
Right.
Historically. And now Sid and I, we got married in October. My birthday's in October. My dad's childhood hero was born on my birthday.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? My mom's mom died.
I need to stay away from you during October. Holy shit.
The last day my mom talked to her mom ever was the day I was born. And then she died a couple days later.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
My mom's mom died on my birthday.
Oh my God.
My uncle was born the day after me. It's like it's weird. What
the fuck?
I know, it's so weird. I don't know what the significance is. I do know this.
Yeah.
One of the last things my grandma said to my dad, to give you some backstory.
Yeah.
My bar mitzvah portion in the Torah is called Vayigash.
Vayigash.
And towards the end of her life, I'd say the last 4 years, or maybe she always did this, but I really remember the last 4 years, she'd call me Vayigash.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
But the Haftorah portion is about the prophet Ezekiel and him, if I remember correctly, leading the Jews through, the desert.
So you're the leader of the Jews?
No.
I don't know, guys. Fuck.
So she called me Vayigash. So one of the last conversations my dad had with my grandma, she was in the hospital and she was doing fine. She was making a full recovery, actually. She went into the hospital because she had...
But then your birthday happened.
Yeah, on the 19th, she went to the hospital because she had fallen, I believe.
Oh, no.
And but she was making a full recovery. She was like going to leave the next day. But that night, the 19th, she's talking to my dad over FaceTime. Sorry, this is the 20th because I got married on the 20th.
Right.
She's talking to my dad on FaceTime, and he's not thinking that she's passing. He's like, she's in the hospital. She fell, but she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And she says, Michael, Vayigash got married. He got married. Like, so happy. And then, like, 3 hours later, she died. So it was like... I'm so happy knowing that, like, she
thought of you before she passed.
She thought of me, but not only that, she knew we got married. She had a perspective on it. She was happy about it. Like, because I was planning on going home for Thanksgiving in a couple weeks, and Sid and I were going to go see her and show her all the pictures, and that's where I'm sure I would have gotten the perspective and how happy she was and stuff. But I'm happy I got it. She
gave it to your father, who was able to
to
respond the
me,
message to you. I mean, is there any specific thing that you learned from her, or a story in general where you're like, wow?
Yeah. So she's a Holocaust survivor. Wow. She was in Auschwitz. And at the funeral, what I thought was interesting, the people who spoke had very different relationships with my grandma.
Right.
My aunt spoke, and she had said that my grandma didn't want to be known as a Holocaust survivor. Didn't want to be known for that and just that. She was a mother. She immigrated to America. She, had no family, and she created a whole new line of family, of Americans. But with me, that was, I don't want to say bonding, the thing we bonded over, but she talked about it with me a lot, her experience.
It allowed her to open up and bring you in.
Yeah, so I kind of had a different sort of perspective of her. And I think that's kind of telling of all people. Nobody is one single thing, especially to one person.
Exactly.
But she was in Auschwitz. She lost her whole family. She had 7 sisters. She was the only one to survive.
I'm so sorry. Whoa.
Yeah. And I think I've been reflecting on that the last few days, because I often, I'm sure you do too, get caught up in these trivial frustrations and anxieties about career or other people or whatever it is.
Like, what's next? What's next? What do I have to do next?
Yeah, and my grandma created a family. That was her crowning accomplishment, and it's so amazing. And it's not that it's not hard to do. It was very hard for her to do. She almost died doing it.
Right.
But I think we put so much stress on these tangible material successes or accomplishments, when just getting up every day and sustaining a friendship is an accomplishment. My grandma's ability to carry on after that.
Yeah.
To say, I lost all of my family, I'm going to go make a family.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That is, I'm trying to never forget that, and try to just put things so much more in that perspective of it's okay. It's okay, and nobody's dying here because of their religion.
Right.
This is a video that I'm trying to make for Instagram. It's not.
My grandmother went through Holocaust, and all her sisters passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm here having a mental breakdown because this is not getting that many views.
Yeah, because I'm not going viral.
Yeah.
You know,
The juxtaposition of Holocaust survivor making a family and I'm not going viral. Not the same.
My grandpa was in the Holocaust too, her husband.
Oh, wow.
You know, so both of them, I just can't even imagine. I mean, they witnessed their families getting murdered in front of their face. You know, I can't even, how do you go on? And you just do. You just figure it out. And I don't want to waste time on these trivial things. And what sucks is I'm going to, because I'm a comedian, and there's nothing funnier than someone complaining about something so trivial, you know, with so much passion. That's like a big part of especially Jewish comedy, you know. And maybe I do that to forget, and maybe my grandma would want me to have the ability to complain about something so trivial, to not, you know, how she wouldn't want me to have something so dark and sad to talk about, you know. And just the idea of the sacrifice and burden that she went through for me to do this podcast, like the chances of me even existing is so small and slim.
But she made it happen. It is through her that you exist.
Totally.
I mean, this is beautiful. I know you're talking about how this may be trivial, but in retrospect, right? It is, I don't want to say her death. I want to say it is through her life that when you go through these trivial things outside of comedy, that you're able to take a step back and go, okay, how can I live forward and how can I have gratitude as well? Yeah. But here's something that I think is also important. My mother said this to me when my grandfather passed away, and I gave her a call at like 4 a.m. having a mental breakdown with my own trivial thing. She said this. In this case, I'll say it to you. Your grandmother is probably one of the strongest people that you know. Correct? Yeah. And whenever you're going through anything that is arduous, just remember this. You have a part of your grandmother inside of you. Yeah. Which means that you have her strength, you have her resilience, and so therefore you can also get through anything. Yeah. And that's something that hopefully...
No, it's spot on.
Right?
It's and she really was, that was her best quality. She was such a strong, tough lady. She wasn't perfect. Yeah. She was sometimes challenging to deal with because of what the trauma she went through. It made her, I think if you weren't able to understand what she went through, you might think she was mean. Yeah. You know, or whatever, just harsh, cutthroat. I wouldn't say cutthroat, but like harsh. I think if you can have the compassion with her to understand what she went through and remember that what you might not like about her, that's a trauma response. Yeah. You could have a relationship with her. And for me, I don't know why, probably because she was the only grandparent I had. Her and her husband were my mom's parents died when I was very young. Right. So I think I was able to rationalize and try to understand because I was like, this is all I got. So
if this is all I got, then hey, I have to be totally open with it.
Yeah, I have to understand and just whatever way it can work for me, then that's good. Wow. But yeah, it was the funeral was cool. I almost didn't say something. It was a graveside funeral.
By the way, thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, of course. God. I almost didn't say something. But I gave a eulogy at my grandpa's funeral, and I was like, I need to
give her the same.
Because I know she would be like, you're going to talk for your grandpa, not me. You know? And I said that in my head. I was like, you're right. I'm going to say something. And I said something, and my grandpa had written it out. Yeah. But this one just was like straight from the heart.
Love that.
And it was short and sweet. And I'm really, after I said, I was like, I'm so happy I did that. I'm so happy. I said one more thing in front of our close family. And I think, and this is the last thing I'll say on this.
No, this is fine. This is great.
When I first heard, I was sad. Yeah. A day or two. I cried, but then I started to realize what she lived with every day. She was more than a Holocaust survivor, sure, but she lived with a lot of baggage and trauma, and I'm happy knowing that that's just done now for her. She doesn't have to think about that ever again. All those bad things that happened to her. If you believe in an afterlife, maybe she gets to be with her family again, her husband again, her sisters again. You know, and I'm just happy knowing that she can just kind of
relax a bit.
Relax. It's over. And that is beautiful. And I always have had a hard time wrapping my head around death. But I think for me, it'll be nice not to have to worry about an Instagram video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of one word when it comes to your grandmother,
yeah,
what is that one word that comes to mind right now?
Strength.
Wow.
Just so strong.
She's right here. She's watching over you. Never forget that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Never
man.
forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I flew in quickly. It was like a 36-hour trip. I got back yesterday.
Well, thank you so much. For
of
doing
course,
this
I
podcast.
love this podcast. It's fun to talk to someone for an hour.
It's the Bottle Club, you know, stories that are bottled up within ourselves,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
By the way, we haven't even done an intro yet.
Oh, yeah. We got to do that.
But so speaking about, you know, material, tangible things.
Speaking about, let's get into our sponsors.
Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a 5-star review, and if you leave your little Instagram on the 5-star review, Noah and myself, or one of us or both of us, will definitely hit you up with a video DM. But let's do this fucking intro. Well, hello, hi. What's up, crew? What's up? My name is Jonathan Garano.
I'm Noah Findling.
And welcome to the Bottle
Club.
What's up, you guys?
Hey.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the intro, guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm so glad that you shared that. I was thinking about a lot of things about my grandparents, but thank you.
Yeah. What's going on with you?
What's going on with me besides like falling in love?
Yeah, falling in love.
It's been so. Is it okay if I share this?
Of course, I think we should share it. I think we should talk about it.
I suffer through manic depression and PTSD, and I'm bipolar type 2. And so that means I get like a lot of night terrors sometimes, and I have like these weird, strange episodes. But being manic when you're on a high is the most amazing feeling in the world. So it's not always, every time I say I'm manic and a bipolar, people always think of the worst of the worst. But in reality, sometimes it's one of the best feelings in the world. Like, fuck drugs.
Your highs are higher than my highs.
Oh my God.
know?
I'm like Jesus Christ himself. I go up to someone and I'm saying, hey, take off your pants, because I have so much, I am Jesus Christ. They just will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or basically, if I can fly, I can fly. Or if I want to make $150,000, boom, I know I will do it because I am God, right? But then, of course, the opposite is
also true.
Is also true, where, as I say to people, they're like, what does it mean when you're depressed and you're bipolar? It's where I have these feelings within my body and I just have no idea how to explain it. Like, my mind is trying to be as positive as I can, and I'm the same with my body, but I don't know why I feel
just
a
creeps
certain
in.
way.
Yeah.
And so for some odd reason, maybe because I've been like working really hard or whatever, and usually this happens once every 2 years, I have this thing where I have a very negative, depressive moment.
Yeah.
Where everything comes together, and usually it only lasts for like a couple of days. And what I mean by this is there's like a nagging thought inside your mind that says, Jonathan, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Or I'm like driving in a car, it's like slam into this wall, slam into this wall, slam into this wall. And then after a couple days, after like holding myself together, it goes away.
Yeah, it passes.
And it's so strange because for the whole month of October, pretty much, everything's going great with me in my career. Like, I paid off $100,000 worth of debt.
Yeah.
I'm getting these deals. This national commercial, just they They brought it back.
Yeah, my grandma died. Everything's
right.
going
Everything's
great.
going great. Everything's going great for me.
Yeah.
Not for you, but
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
And for some odd reason, in the beginning of October, like the first week, I'm like, uh-oh, here it comes. I already, because I'm
You
old.
could feel it.
I could feel it. Like, thankfully, throughout these years.
What was that first thought?
It was me screaming when I was sleeping, and I had scratches all over my body. I'm like, oh, okay, Jonathan.
It's coming.
It's I have night terrors right now. The night terrors are creeping up. And usually what helps is I'll cry like I really want to sleep or just something. And I'm like, okay, I have scratches all over my body. That's why I like to wear like, I love to wear like sweaters and stuff because I have scars all over my body from just, and that's why I cut my nails all the time because I always scratch. But anyway, so that's happening. The night terrors are happening. I'm like, okay, this is going to happen in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I'm looking around the room and someone in my head's like, hey, Jonathan, take that belt and put it around your neck. I'm like, oh no, what the fuck? I'm like, oh no, Jonathan, don't do this. So then I leave. I'm leaving. And I drive in my car. I'm listening to happy music. And all these suicidal thoughts keep on creeping up where I'm driving in my car and there's a voice, I don't know where it's coming from, telling me that I need to kill myself.
Yeah.
But not just kill myself, but how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, hang yourself, drive off a cliff, let's make it fast. You are worthless. You are worthless. You are like this nagging thought over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, Jonathan, this will go away. This will go away. And
so there's another side of you that's talking to that side.
Right. It's as I've gotten older, I've been able to talk to it. In the very beginning, I'm like, holy shit, what do I do? And this is where I will be like in my room and I'll take a cup and I'll just throw it. It's like I have to do something violent. I have to do something violent to myself. And then for some reason, the thought would just go away.
Yeah.
That's why I have a massive gambling problem because when these thoughts are going away, I'm like, okay, I'm going to restart my life and I'm going to damage myself by going to the casino, destroying myself by getting rid of all my money. Okay, now that I'm destroyed myself because I am quote unquote worthless, I can restart.
Yeah.
So this time I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's go boxing. Let's do all these things. I need this thought to go away. I need to go to sleep. I'm not able to go to sleep. But I'm
Can't shut it down.
Can't shut it down.
Yeah.
And also I'm scared to go to sleep because I know that if I go to sleep, guess what? My night terrors are going to increase.
Yeah.
Because night terrors are basically like nightmares, but instead you're actively moving around. And I'm like, I don't want any new scars in my body.
Yeah.
I don't like one time I woke up when I was like a little kid and I had like a huge gash, on the side of my neck because I was having a night terrors and I was like scratching it and I was like, oh my God. And so I don't want that.
Yeah.
Again, and it just wouldn't, Noah, it wouldn't fucking go away.
Yeah.
And I just joked around with people and I couldn't even cry. Like it was so
it's just so exhausting.
It's really exhausting. And as someone with a mental health disability, I always made it a very, very, very like strict rule that, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, right? And I'm never going to ever burden what I'm going through with my mental health issues to somebody else. I've done that before and like, hey, my ex-girlfriend didn't deserve that. Like she doesn't deserve to hear these burdens that I have.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to navigate at this moment, how do I take care of myself without burdening anybody? How do I take care of myself where I don't kill myself? What is the next steps that I need to do?
Yeah.
And so, the very first thing is like, hey, with not my clients, but with my friends who want to hang out with me and stuff, I go, hey, listen, I love you right now. I'm going through my own thing. Like I'm having these suicidal thoughts. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it because I'm old enough and I figured out the triggers. I just need to
have some space
where I can handle it. And I also believe that you can't do anything alone.
Yeah.
And so maybe if you can't afford it, maybe you go running or something, but find that outlet. And for me, thankfully, I said, I don't care how broke I will go. I'm going to spend as much money that I have to book as many therapy sessions that I can with as many different people until I get someone or something or everything can compound. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have your mental health, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Right.
I mean, that's not an excuse to go, flex your gambling addiction, but it's,
Right.
Yeah, you need that to be strong.
You need that to be strong.
And it's worth the money. That's worth spending your money on.
Right, because you'll be more productive and living,
and you'll make more money.
Yeah, but it's not about
not about the money.
Well, it's not about it's about everything, but it just sucks. Like I many times I wish that I didn't have this mental health issue, because I know that in the past I would be farther along, and I know that in places where I work, for example, with different clients, I'm like, man, like I have this one friend. He's like, you don't know how to manage your time. That's why you have all these things that pile up, and this is why you can't multitask. And it's like, bro, the reason why I can't multitask and I only pick one project at a time is because if I want to do it well, I have to make sure that my mental health
comes first.
But I'm not going to tell them that.
Yeah.
Like some people, they can sit down and they can do they can have a job. Then after their job, they can have like a side project. And after the side project, they can have another side project.
They have a lot more bandwidth. Yeah.
Sorry. Like for me.
But you do have a lot of bandwidth. And a lot of it is taken up by treating and making sure that this side of your brain is fed.
And because that way I can function.
Yeah.
Because my PTSD and my manic depression, my fucking anxiety is it's creeping up. And I have to go, okay, I, as a human being, don't want to burden my mental health disability on my clients, on the people that I'm working for, because it is not on them.
Yeah, it's not on them.
I have to take care of myself. But that means that, hey, how do I prioritize correctly? Okay, maybe I have to wake up a little bit earlier than most people so I can do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to stay in the office a little bit later because I have to make sure that I'm healthy and then I can complete it.
Or maybe you can't do every project, and that's okay.
That's okay. And I might lose a few deals. Like there was this.
But what those deals would bring you, again, you go back to maybe you're not here.
Yeah.
And who cares? No one's dead. Like, well, what about those deals?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's maybe you're doing the exact amount that you can do. I talk about my brother all the time. He has great bandwidth. I have pretty good bandwidth too. He has more bandwidth than me.
Right.
He can just pile it on. He'll work himself to death.
Right.
I through therapy learned, I'm sorry to go back to me, but
no, that's okay.
I am a people pleaser. Really bad people pleaser. I will, for a long time, I got myself into a very unsafe situation.
Right.
Where I was taking a lot of Adderall. I was not sleeping.
That's not good.
I was driving a car.
Yeah.
And I could have had a heart attack. I could have, passed out at the wheel.
Yeah.
And I was just like, for what?
For what?
For what reason? All I had to do was say no. And I think I'm finding the balance again of having bandwidth, saying yes to what I can. Because it's like, I think for a second the pendulum swung the other way, where I was like, I'm only doing one thing at a time. And now I'm slowly starting to let a couple more things in. But
it's about prioritizing, trying to figure out how can you do those little things. And so therefore, that's why I hire someone, or that's why I'm like, okay, I can't do this if I want to do X, Y, Z. Like when you have a mental health disability, or just in general, when you have all these things, it's like, how do I prioritize my life correctly so I can be a productive person in society?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying normal person in society, but also someone that gives value to society as a human being.
Yeah.
Because other human beings, what do they need?
I don't know.
Positivity.
Yes.
They need
enthusiasm.
Community.
Yeah, community. Yeah.
Right? People love helping, but if you're not crying with purpose, it's going to be hard for someone to take care of you.
Yeah. When you told me that, I didn't know what to say. Of course, I love you. We've become good friends. I don't want any of those thoughts that you have to win.
Right. Well, thankfully it's over right now, guys.
That's great.
Maybe it'll happen.
He's on the other side of it. What do you want your friends to say? I think it's very smart of you to appropriately be honest with people, like especially like we're working together.
Right. That's why I shared it with you. I'm not going to share it with everybody.
Yeah. I have a friend.
I don't want my trauma to be my personality.
I have a friend. Love this guy.
Yeah.
has mental illness, we were working on something, he would just go off the grid. I couldn't talk. He wouldn't respond to me. I couldn't get in touch with him. And I didn't know at the time what was going on. It just kind of felt like this person was kind of fucking, you know.
And that's unfair to you.
It is unfair, but I think now, having gone through that and going to therapy on my own, I think I have a lot more compassion. When stuff like that happens, though, I know he should have said something. He should have said, I have this. I need some space. That's all that's happening here. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm not mad at you, you know?
Yeah.
But I think like when things aren't going normally, we have to reach inside of our hearts and be like, okay, I need to have compassion for this person because something might be going on.
Okay, so you can have. So here's the thing: you can have compassion, but that doesn't mean you have to work with him again.
No, I don't know that I would unless we had a conversation.
You can have empathy, and empathy is like, you know, understanding and affirming them, but you don't have to accept that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, because I have manic depression and PTSD and all these things, and then when someone who I'm relying on suddenly goes, "Hey, I disappeared," or "I didn't finish," or I didn't step up to the plate like I was supposed to because I have a mental health issue. It's like, wow, I can't believe that's an excuse to me. Mm-hmm. And I know that's like, maybe that's very problematic to say and I could get canceled for that, but
you won't, because nobody cares about mental illness.
Right. Thank God. Well, white women do.
Yeah.
I just think that how do I want my friends to respond?
Yeah, that was the question. Yeah.
I don't want my friends to ever, like, unless I'm asking to, hey, I need help. I just want them to listen.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's it. And I make it, and as I've learned through time, because I think about what do I want when someone's going through a mental health crisis? Like, how do I want to receive it? I say, okay, I want them to be honest with me, and I want them to give me the option if I want to listen to them. And then if I can't, I want them to have a good understanding that if I can't be there for them, that they're okay with it. So then how do I project that with my friends? Well, first off, when I'm working with you, because I'm working with you, I wanted to be upfront, like, hey, listen, I need some time because we are working together. But then I also said, but do not worry.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
Right, but do not worry. I'm taking care of it.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. Because I wanted to make sure that, hey, listen, you're, like, though we're working together, I'm not your responsibility.
Yeah.
As a human being, I need to take care of myself. Period.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, people are willing to be there for people that cry with purpose.
Yeah.
And so that's like step number one. Step number two, if I want to have a conversation with someone, like I have some close friends, I'd be like, hey, do you have like 5 minutes of time? I'm going through this. If you don't, just let me know.
Yeah.
And if they say yes, then we pick up the phone, we call a little bit. I try to make sure there are like time constraints because at the very end of the day, with the trauma that you have, you should not be burdening anybody with it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my own guilt and that's wrong. Maybe that's hard.
I think that's really healthy. Like, I think that's really healthy. I think it's a really smart thing. I also think what I like that you did with me is for me, when I'm working with someone, I want to make sure that there's another week.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go. You know, we've recorded however many we've recorded.
3. This is
I
the
don't.
fourth one.
Yeah, I don't. No, it's okay. I don't want to. I don't want to stop. I think we have something really good going.
Yeah.
So you said, which is very hard for someone with mental illness to do,
right?
Especially with your mental illness, from what I understand about it, is to set a date for the next recording,
right?
Which you did, which is very hard, I think, for people who suffer what you suffer from, or however you want me to phrase it. That's hard to do because you're so overwhelmed with what you're going through. I'm like, I can't even think about next week, but you were able to do that, which I think is a sign of tremendous growth and ability to.
It's just the past, thank God.
Yeah.
What I've learned,
because then you got me off your back. I'm like, okay, he said not to worry.
Yeah.
We set a date. Okay, I'm not gonna worry.
That's very key. I think if you're someone with like mental health issues, one of the things why in the past, what I've learned is like when I go through this turmoil, it's because of this like lack of control
Yeah.
and lack of clarity. And so then I have to think to myself, how do I increase clarity, and how do I somehow somehow pretend or somehow act as if I have control? Well, the first thing is first, okay, if I put a deadline on anything, that's clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get this done by this.
Right.
I have to do that.
Right. That's so clarity.
Can't kill myself before that deadline.
Right. Or it's like, hey, you have to wash those dishes before you slice your throat.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's like clarity. And then control is, okay, what around me can I kind of fix?
Yeah.
And actually, the very first thing they say that when you're very depressed is fold your clothes.
Yeah. Make your bed. Yeah.
Right. That's, I have a sense of control there.
Yeah.
So that is kind of key. That's why you asked me, like, why do I love having like a clean area? It's because I feel like I have a sense of control.
Totally. I feel so much better when I clean.
Right.
Yeah.
So does cleaning decrease depression? Yes. That is some mental health advice. Take it. No,
Yeah.
kidding. No,
I mean, it is good
no,
advice.
we're not doctors. We're
Yeah.
not doctors.
Yeah.
We're not doctors.
We are doctors that,
Yeah,
right?
we know everything.
Yeah, people are going to take pictures and send us their incredibly clean apartments, psychotically clean, if you will.
But yeah, it's, I just, having this mental health issue in my life is, it's been really, really fun.
Yeah.
Like really fun.
Yeah.
To really pick apart throughout, since I was like 16, trying to figure out, okay, what pills do I take? What exercises? When is my body sleepy? What foods cause triggers?
Yeah.
Like I now know I stay away from certain foods now because I know that it will make my brain kind of mushy.
Really?
It's fun. I mean, it was like maybe like a 6 or 7 year process of having a journal and writing down, okay, what are the best times to sleep? What happens if I don't sleep? What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that?
Yeah.
It's
Man, I
so
really
much
love
fun.
that. I'm totally blown away, dude. I mean, this is fascinating. People need to hear this shit. Like, it's dark and it's weird, but people need to hear it. People need to, because I do think, there's some people that would have saw your text and been like,
yeah. What is the text read? Like, hey, I'm struggling right now. I'm having suicidal thoughts. It happens once a year. Do not worry. I'm figuring it out. We're still going to do a podcast.
And some people would read that and say, I don't know if I want to do a podcast with you,
Yeah.
But
that's fine, but I trusted you enough for you to understand.
Well, yeah, I have people in my life who also, I have like 7 people in my life who suffer from bipolar manic depressive disorder.
Shit.
I have a lot of people in my life. So I'm actually quite familiar with it. It's just, I think, like you said, I think it's important for people to just kind of just listen and let you feel the things you're feeling.
Yeah.
That's one thing I hate. Whenever I'm very, very anxious and I'm saying stupid shit, I don't like when I tell a friend and then they like refer to it later and kind of use it against me, sort of.
It hurts.
Oh,
like I had a friend. And I told her, and she's like, "Oh, you just got to change your mindset." I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Let me have a brainal transplant right now.
Or like, "Oh, Jonathan, did you take your pills today?" What? I'm having a good day right now. What the fuck are you saying?
Oh yeah,
that's the worst to hear.
If you
did you take your pills today, Jonathan?
Especially if you're like rightfully mad about something.
Yeah.
You're calling someone out and they're like, "He's having an episode." It's like, no, you didn't do.
Yeah.
No, I'm feeling good. You didn't do the things you're supposed to do.
Every time, like, "Oh, dude, I kind of feel sad right now. Did you take your pills?" Whoa.
That's really frustrating.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating.
But I will say this, and I think this is very important because I know we're having this conversation where, like, if your friend is opening up, you should listen to your friend. Hey, listen, you're not your friend's therapist.
Yeah.
So if you yourself can't take it, just be like, "Hey, I love you so much, but I can't be there for you
in this way.
Right now or maybe ever, but just know that I love you." And you as a person, that if you're opening up to your friend and your friend says that to you, just be like, "Okay, I get it. I understand." Because again, at the very end of the day, like, everyone has their own mental bandwidth and they're all dealing through their own little shit. And hey, you got to respect each other in that
Yeah, and
moment.
that's you're asking, like, the whole thing of like I can only take on what I can take on because I have this huge project that you don't even know about that I deal with every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's called my brain.
It's called my brain. Yeah.
You know, so it's like you want that understanding from people, so they should have that for themselves and for you. You know,
But my God, being high is so fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Like, having that.
do you feel like you're stoned? Do you feel like you're like drunk?
Okay,
Or
so this is how I.
you feel like you're on drugs?
Okay. Well, for example, I don't smoke weed anymore because
Yeah.
it's like lack of control. But okay, for example, here's like 3 things, right?
Yeah, I kind of recently stopped smoking weed too.
When I do indica, I feel like there's like liquid inside my head, and I can feel every little crevice that's being followed through with this liquid. So like it spreads like a hand, and then it pulls my head backwards. Oh, and it's like little drummer boys are like hitting different parts of it as music plays, and my brain like lights up, like Simon says. But then I'm like, oh fuck! All of a sudden I have no control, but this feels so good for like 30 minutes. But being manic high, dude. Okay, it's okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you know the answers to everything?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on stage and as you're going, every single
Everything's
person
going right.
is laughing at your joke, and you can look at someone and you know
You're in the zone.
You're in the zone. You know exactly the right joke that hits them, and then you know they're not going to get offended.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like that, but times 10.
That's so cool. We're like, I'm just the most charming, coolest
I'm the
person.
most charming individual ever. I can look at you, and I can be there for you as a person. But
I know
also,
exactly what you need to hear.
exactly, and I can see.
Well, you
through
are
you.
really good at that. Like, I do feel like you are really, and maybe you're having your highs in that, or maybe you're just even.
I'm even, yeah.
Yeah, but one thing as a friend is I feel like you are really poignant on advice or like what to say or to me, or you know, like you are really good at how you say it. You know, it's a skill set.
It's empathy.
Yeah.
And also thank my father for abusing me.
Yeah.
Because without that, I don't think I would have that.
Well, you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder, right?
Yeah, and see that he upsets me.
But one thing, he may upset you, but one thing I'll say that I do love that he said is that he calls it his superpower.
Oh yes, it is.
I don't know. I'm the guy who doesn't have that, and so maybe I shouldn't think that that's.
I like that he
cool.
says it's a superpower, but I'm very, I get a little irked out because what he's doing to the mental health community is saying like, hey, if you have a mental health issue, go sorry. Do whatever.
Don't take care of it.
Don't take care of it.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Let it just go.
You can hurt other people, but it's okay because you have this mental health issue.
Yeah.
And I believe in not the opposite, but I believe like, hey, you have this mental health issue. It's okay to express it, and you should express it, but be wary because you don't want to hurt others in the process of your own recovery.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And try to treat it.
Right.
Just try, because untreated, it's gonna what you're saying is going to happen.
Right. But I'm really glad that my father abused me, and the reason being is because I was his therapist, and so I knew exactly what to say. And if anybody's listening, I think the best way to be an active listener is 3 things. 1, wait for someone to give you kind of a clue of what they really want to talk about. Because people, when you ask them a question, they'll be talking, and like look at their eyes and their mouth, and as soon as, like, for example, you say Sid, or you look at your wedding ring, or you smile, it's like, okay, I'm going to attack that, and they love that. That's number 1, so be very observant. Number 2, listen first, and then when you're giving advice, instead of like giving that advice, use a story. So for example, right? Because, for example, I was talking to this girl. She was talking about how she gets harassed at work, whatever. And instead of me just going like, oh, you should do X, Y, Z, be like, oh, if I had this, long story short, she had this coworker who was going over the boundaries and texts her after work and says derogatory things. And so I said, when I used to work at this company, there was this coworker named Erin. And one time I texted her outside of work with iMessage, and she didn't respond. The next day, though, I go online on Slack, and she hits me up there and goes, hey, I'm ready for you now.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
And it made the girl who was getting harassed understand, like, oh my God, that's a really great way to like set up boundaries and it's not awkward. For example, you're talking about your grandmother, right? I listened, I heard it, and instead of giving you advice like, hey, you're strong, I go, my mother once said.
Yeah.
And then I brought you.
Because there's nothing worse than getting advice when you're like, I wasn't even asking for advice.
Right.
But you did kind of give me advice, but I wasn't asking for it. But it just felt like you were adding to the conversation.
I was adding to the conversation. I was affirming you. It's like affirming, but you have to be. It's like a very balanced situation.
Yeah.
And it's all because of what I've learned from talking with women. Is because women, many times, often, it's like, please don't fix me. Just listen to me.
Yeah, just listen.
And then you wait for clues until they go, hey, what's your advice?
Yeah.
And then when they do that, what's your advice? Then you bring up it in a way in the stories, because as humans in our brains, what do we remember the most? We remember stories.
Yeah. We really do. Yeah, we cite stories. We talk about stories, talk about other people's stories. That was early on with Sid. I feel like I learned I was trying to be a fixer.
Yeah.
And I remember her being like, I don't want you to fucking fix this. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And as a guy, I'm like, but I gotta fix it. I need to fix it.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. I gotta make the light work. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can kind of fix it if you just fucking shut up and listen.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm glad. Hey, I think that Sid is very, 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 very good for you.
I think so too. Hopefully.
But listen, even if, I'm not saying knock on wood.
No. I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
But, who fucking knows?
I don't know if we're running out of time here, but I think...
we're good. I mean, we haven't talked in 2 weeks. So
yeah.
Great.
I think...
3 weeks, actually.
That's the other thing. It's like, there's like a stigma with divorce. It's like, okay, how great. These people realize they're not right for each other. Hey. They got out.
Sometimes I think, I'm so glad my parents got divorced.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't.
So many times when I talk to kids of parents who divorce, most of the time I find that they're like, yeah, they should not be together.
Yeah.
And the kids of parents who like got divorced and got back together, they're like so fucking fucked up. They're like, why did you guys fucking do this? You're not right for each other.
It's sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
But I have a question. Did you get a prenuptial agreement?
No.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, I don't have anything. So,
okay, that's
fine. She can have whatever I have.
I believe that you should do always like a prenuptial agreement, especially if you have something. But I also believe that if you get a divorce, you never know what type of contribution that person had in your life, and that's why, hey, you gotta split it. Yeah. I hate when people always complain like, "Why am I?" Hey, listen, bro. She could have been your muse. You guys talked about things. Who knows? Totally. Right. Totally. There's that labor that you'd never see, that invisible labor. Totally. That's kind of hard to monetize. Yeah. You gotta monetize everything. Guys, thank you. That is the fucking episode. If you enjoyed this, we're doing a lot of cool things on this podcast. You'll be seeing it on the YouTube channel soon, and TikToks been working really hard. I'm excited. And don't forget to subscribe, do all of those good things. Noah, you told me that you had a rap for them or a poetry for the crew members? Yeah. Yeah, what is it? Go ahead. I'm Jonathan's wife, and I want to make chicken parmesan.